Welcome back to Everlasting Summer. And this is a very horrifying story. Uh, it began as a sweet story. Every one of the four girls was have a sweet story. At least if you get the good ending. But damn, Miku, this is horrifying. Look at this. Alicia died. And look, just because she died, everything turned black and red and gloomy. Fuck. When we made our way outside, I dared a final glance at Alicia. What I saw now didn't send me sprawling on the ground as though my heart was racing frantically. I was feeling sick and dizzy and my stomach turned. Ew. Sorry, I forgot to charge my phone. Very stupid of me. Always put your phone on silence when you are recording. What I saw now, I didn't set me yeah, okay. She was hanging about 5 meters above the ground. Several neckerchiefs tied together in a string were tied around her throat. Do you need to explain everything? She's dead, okay? Fuck. Bulging eyes, protruding tongue, putrefaction already at work on the body. It looked like she didn't die a couple of hours ago, but at least a couple of days. How that happened? An expression of agony and inhuman suffering was permanently frozen on her face. Are we ghosts? It was clear that she couldn't have done such a thing to herself. My God, who came up with all this? Maybe we are in hell. I hesitate my step away from the duplicate scene, drag the other along. I order them to open their eyes only when we reach the square. That was horrifying. She is still there? I asked Mika, not letting go of my hand. I just nodded. Who, Alicia? Lena cried out loud and burst in tears. Masha embraced her and tried to comfort her. What happened to her? Don't ask, muttered Rota with floating tongue. I bet you don't want to know. For a while, I just stood there and looked at the moon. Lena was swooping, Router was beaching in circle around us, and Masha sat down the bench and buried her face in her hands. Okay, it's time, I said quietly, yet nodded moved. We can't stay here. I walked to Masha, then overtook her hand. She raised her eyes filled with tears and at me and nodded. We slowly proceed to the bus stop. Night has fallen on the camp. Along the way, I noticed that the grasshoppers were almost quiet. Keeping silence for some time now, they resembled their nasty song, but this time it was much quieter and I might say a little bit more respectful. Their daytime progress noise changed to Newton for violin and orchestra. Is there any chance they concern about what's going on here? Of course, if we assume that there are grasshoppers in hell too. This is very dark. I hate this kind of thing. I didn't expect that to have that in this game. We come to the bus stop and stopped, hesitating. So where are we going? I asked Masha, wiping her tears. Okay, we already tried going to right, let's go left. But they're not on there. And just a couple of days ago, there was no camp in the right. Maybe we shouldn't, Lena sobbed quietly. We have no choice. I won't stay here any longer. We were just about to get moving where we heard the noise approach from far away. And caught a glimpse of someone coming down the road. A bus! With joy in his voice, shut up, you fool. That's not a bus. People are approaching. I hissed him. Lots of people, said Masha. Oh shit, is this zombies? It was clear that we shouldn't stay here any longer. I turned around and saw someone approaching down the road from other direction too. The noise was getting louder. The crabble of a grasshopper, though not their usual one, much louder, disrupting version as it had been passing through the guitar amplifier. Run! I shouted, but nobody moved. Oh, screw it. I grabbed Masha and Lena's hand and dared to back to the camp. What was that? The girls were floating in storm, so I ended up literally dragging them along. Having dashed to the square, I stopped to catch some breath, and only then did I realize that the router had been left behind. Oh shit, we have to go back to get him. Oh no, we lost him. Masha screamed and shifted toward the bus stop. Are you not? I pulled her hand and forced her to stop. You want us all to meet the same fate? Lena was trembling so wild that I felt my right hand shaking as it held her hand. Keep running. Where to? Don't know, into the wood. Returning to Olga's cabin wasn't an option. My self-proceeded instead also suggests that we shouldn't stay in the open area as well. We dashed toward the woods. I held Girl's hand tightly. They ran with difficulty except Lena, who was swaying and waving. She fell a few times, but I quickly picked her up, spurring her on with a shout, and dragged her on. Passing through the tree was the hardest part. Though the full moon was shining up in the sky, in the dark I was still concerned running into snags, branches fallen into pits. Neither were slashing my legs, and leaf was hitting me in the face, leaving painful scratches. My heart was pounding heavily, even breath I took wasting painful on my lung. The blood was pounding so heavily in my head that it seemed like my skull was ready to burst from the procedure any moment. Sorry. I stopped feeling my body, my leg carrying me forward by themselves. Wow, look at this, very creepy. At last we ran out into clearing and stopped. Excited, the girls fell to the ground and I sat on falling trees. Who were they? People or demon or something else? And where was that shivering sound come from? I couldn't make them out in the twilight, but that was probably for the best. After I slightly recovered my senses, I walked up to the girls. Lena was lying dead white on the ground, seemed like she'd completely lost it. Masha was sitting, hanging her knee and rocking from side to side. We got to do something, I said as I sat near her. It's too late. We're gonna die, she whispered in hollow voices. We still alive. That means there's still hope. No, there's nothing now. It's all over. I put my arms around her and held her tight. No, it's not. I started into the darkness of the forest. The grasshopper could barely be heard now. It's not for Masha labored breathing. I would think I was dead. Forgive me, she whispered quietly. For what? For everything. For me being like that. For whatever we failed to achieve. It's not that right time for that now, I said tenderly. We don't have much time left, so I'd say that the right time. She looked at me and faintly smiled. Forgive me, if only I hadn't been so selfish in the first place. I looked into her eye, her bottomless sorrow eye, and I felt a hot tear cross my cheek. No, it's me who should be sorry. I was totally ignorant of what to say in such situation. I did so much wrong to her. caused her so much pain, and now at the last minute I can't think of anything other than an empty I am sorry. I was overwhelmed with anger at my helplessness and being unable to protect the only person I had there. You know, I always loved you. I know, she said quietly. Masha smiled again. I thought her face was trembling and tears were running down her cheek. And I still love you. I know. I couldn't stand it. I longed to turn away to close my eyes. But I can't afford weakness at that last minute. I leaned down and kissed her hard. Time stood still for us. This cursed binary camp, the dark night, all this hell spawn, and even the bloody grasshoppers just caused to exist. The whole universe ceased to exist. Just two of us were left. Just when I was almost willing to believe that it was all just bad dream that would come alive with its resting. The foiling far away Gravin and swarm the Vig's sly house emerged from the darkness. I couldn't make them out, but I was certain that they are the same creature that we have seen in the bus stop. My whole body was striking within dismay. I was afraid to breathe. So this is how it ends, said Masha quietly and held me tight. No, this is not the end. Suddenly, I have realized that I will fight for her till the last drop of my blood, as long as there is a slight chance of survival. I jumped up, tickled her off the ground, and rushed over Lena. She was lying deathly pale with her eyes open, and she didn't seem to understand what was happening at all. Hey, why are you kissing? I started shaking her by the shoulder. Get up! There was no reaction. I gave her a few slaps, and she let out a dull moan. Get up now! And rusted Lena, she started to at me with a space outlook. Let's run. I grabbed the girls by their hand and rushed aimlessly. The further from them, the better. Wow, very heavy. I was trembling down, getting up again, helping Lena and Masha to get up too, hurtling through the dense foiling. Eventually the noise faded, leaving us the only quiet grin of grasshoppers, the light flicking in the distance. Soon enough, we came out into a small clearing completely shattered by the trees. There was a building that somehow looked like a kindergarten. What is that? I stammered. That building is the old camp, said Lena friendly. It seemed that she was slowly coming back to her senses. I stopped hesitating. Sure, it was quite naive to think that we can find shelter there. It was obviously that we can't be secure anywhere with all the stuff it's having. On the other hand, we were on the verge of collapsing, especially the girls. I took a few hesitating steps toward the building when we rustling from behind reached my ears. I froze in my track, unable to turn around. The rustling was glowing louder, and suddenly we heard the tubercle cringing. Oh, 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 oh. This is the creepiest thing I see in this game so far. Wait a minute. Let me. Oh. Like I said, I'm not good with horror stuff. I didn't expect that. This is horrifying. Remember when I said that Juliana cannot get worse? Now it gets worse. Why so many Juliana? Ew, look at this zombies. Like, I found myself with superhuman effort to turn around. A crowd was behind me. A crowd of little girls. Or rather, a crowd of Juliana. They were all exactly the same as that Juliana I saw in the morning, with the Same torn face and horrified distraught smile. And all of them made the same hellish sound, the creeping of gross hub, a duplicate noise that chilled my heart. We froze where we stood, unable to take even a single step away. Is that electronic? All of a sudden, one of Juliana came toward us in the crowd and pulled a several head of a router from behind her back. Here, a gift! A grimace of horror was permanently frozen in his face. I almost fainted as she started to talk. Hi there, Simone! How are you doing? Her voice felt like a ball pressure lie through my brain. I scrambled and fell toward the old camp building and dragged the girls along. I must admit that back then I'd completely stopped thinking of Masha or Lena. Maybe they were also screaming, maybe were shocked by horror, I do not know. The most important thing now is to get as far away as possible from the monsters. We flew into the building and immediately the ground disappeared under our feet and fell into darkness. Let me take my breath a little bit. I awake in completely darkness. My whole body itched, especially my legs, but somehow I still managed to get up, leaning against the wall. The sound of Juliana was nowhere to be heard, which calmed down a little. I heard out this voice. Masha, Lena. I heard a movement nearby, felt someone grab my legs. Instantly I jumped back and at the same moment faint voice from below. Are you still alive? Seemed like it. I helped Masha get up. Suddenly a bright light fell a couple of meters away from me. I leaned against the wall, trembling, but immediately I realized that it was Lena who had turned into a flashlight. Where did this come from? Where did you get that? Lena came because implied. I took it just in case yesterday. I took that flashlight from her and shone it around. We were in some kind of tunnel. The walls were lined with wire. Unite lamp were hanging from the ceiling. Where are we? I don't know. Just like some kind of a bomb shelter. Looked like some formable hole, beyond which one should barely make out the hallway of the old camp building. The floor had probably rotted with the age, and we fell down here. At first glance, there was no way to climb back too high, and there are nothing to grab. So what is there? Further? I asked, not really expecting an answer. I don't know, but we have to check. I don't think we have another option. I shoved the flashlight ahead of us and took a few uncertain steps. My whole body was covered in bruise and scratch, but I could still walk. Ouch! Lena came behind me. What is it? I think I sprained my ankle. I was honestly expecting the next line to be something cliche like, leave me behind, I'll only be burdened, but of course she could never say that. Okay, lean on me. I went over Lena and offered her my shoulder. This is where we fall into this coma. Sure enough, the stone walls give away the wooden ones and we end up in the same sort of mine. Let's have a break. No, Masha begged. I carefully lowered Lena in the ground and sat down nearby. Well, at last those monsters are nowhere to be seen. But for how long? I sighed heavily and closed my eyes. What do you think we're going here? Masha's voice was trembling and she sounded more or less confident. Looked like she's so exhausted and devastated that there's just no strength left for her. I don't know, and honestly, I don't want to know. But we gonna get out? Definitely. I couldn't see her face, but I was sure that she smiled. Suddenly, the flashlight blinked and went out. I hit it with my palm several times, the mine wall, it's up with the dim light once again, and immediately realized that something was wrong. Lena was nowhere to be found. Lena disappeared, I whispered. What? Masha grabbed her by the sleeve and started to where Lena had been sitting a moment ago. How? But how? She started to cry quietly. We will die. We will definitely die. I also very much wanted to burst into tears. Darkness surrounded us all around, closing. The flashlight was rapidly dying, and with it, our chance of survival. Get up, time to go. The battery will die soon. Couple of minutes later, we come to Fork. What the hell? Is that some kind of labyrinth too? I hesitate under my breath. Let's go back, maybe? No way. Masha bassed against me even harder. Where to? I don't know, but we had to choice anyway, and I decided to go right. Soon we come to another fork. Where to? I stick to the direction we chose before. We had been wandering for too long. We had neither strength nor left to move on. I was so terrible trusting, I was ready to lick the mustache from off the wall. Let's sit just a bit. We can't, we must go on. But just a minute. Misha begged for an English. Fine. She lowered her head into my shoulder. And the flashlight will blink more and more often, so I decided to turn it off for now, to save the battery. This is it. Can I take a moment to breathe? Like I said, I am very bad with horror. Last time I got to horror movie, I think Olga or Ogia, and I was like shutting my eye all the time. My friend's like, you go to the movie and you shut your eyes all the time. Like, come on, I can't handle horror. I tell them every time, I can't handle horror. I can't handle horror. No, let's go see horror. Oh, fuck. And we will go to see horror movie tonight too. I don't know how much time passed. Desperately, I wanted to sleep. My eyes went closed by themselves. How did we first met? That was so long ago. Do you remember? I asked her, whispered. What? Masha's voice was trembling. How we met? Yes. She tried to laugh, but immediately began to chat. I will sleep for a while, okay? Just for a while, or you will sleep through the whole day again. Well, but you will wake me up. Of course. I kissed her and closed my eyes. Obviously, we're getting closer, but I didn't care. I was a transport back in time in that day. My whole body was itching. Perhaps my brain couldn't rest peacefully because it was distracted by thousands of signs from my nerve ending. Somehow, I rose and woke up Masha. After all, we were planning to survive. How long it has been in this mine? Fork after fork, tunnel after tunnel. Masha was whispering something all the time. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. It seemed that I won't be able to handle even one more turn. But suddenly the flashlight highlight tugged past the darkness, and soon we found ourselves in the open camper. Look! Masha was pointing somewhere to the darkness. I flashed the light there and saw a neck chest lying on the ground. This is not... No, let's go. At last we got to the labyrinth and found ourselves in a small room. There were broken bottles all over the floor, pipes scratching along the wall, and at the end of them were rusting valves. A mess of graffiti was crawling all over the walls. At last, it's changing scenery. The flashlight had almost died, and I had to shake it up every 10 seconds to slightly recover the battery. Excited, Masha drove off the floor. We can't stop. I'm sure there has exit somewhere here. How do you know? I looked at her. She obviously had no energy anymore, Masha was struggling with her exhausted and could lose conscience in any second. I just know. I smiled, tried to look encouraging. Well, if so, she leaned against the wall and stood hardly. Sit here for now. I will see what is further on. I'm afraid. Masha trembled. I'm not going far. She raised her eyes to me, full of hope, and nodded to almost imperceptibly. I looked around and noticed a heavy iron door. My attempt to open it came to nothing. It was completely rusting shut. Oh, I wish that pipe was here now. But there was no other choice. I pressed my leg and wall and threw all my weight against the handle. My muscle blocked, my forehead was awash with sweat, my vision darkened. But the door didn't blush, just give it a hollow trickle. It's alright, wait a second. I shouted over Masha, gasping for breath. I need to find some kind of stick. I ran over to Masha, bent down to smile. There's definitely an exit behind that door. Huh? She looked at me wearily. I ran out of the room and began to scout the mine in search of something suitable. The flashlight was about to die, and having a blink last, it definitely went out. I panicked and began to blunder around, trying to find the way back. However, I kept running into walls and I couldn't remember at all how I got here. Masha, I screamed, hoping that she would hear me. Suddenly, a sound came out from behind me. A light appeared and my shadow appeared in the ground, stretching far from the darkness. It was rooted, I have spotted by fear. I had it simply fell in their faces. What's wrong, Simon? Get lost? Fuck! This game getting so creepy every single second. I slowly turned around and saw Lena holding a flaming torch in her hand. Her face was definitely by the inhuman grin. I came for you! That was same Lena what I saw at the square last event. The same as in Olga cabin. That was Lena and at the same time not Lena. The creature was more like this Juliana. I'm coming for you, who are you? I squeezed out. It's Lena, don't you recognize me? She burst into devilish laughter. You completely forgot about me while having fun with them. Words stuck in my throat. It's alright, there are nobody left now, just the two of us. So you did everything? Bingo, not everything of course. For a second her face became glinty, but then she grinned again. Sylvia was first. She was way too annoying. She was Mr. Responsibility. Delight, hardworking, always everywhere, agreeing with everyone. Yuck! Boy, did she scream when I was tearing off her arms, huh? Let's pity you didn't get to see that all. She mouth began to tremble, her saliva dropped out of it, and her eyes rolled. And then Alicia, everybody is annoying me. I don't need anyone. Now she's hanging peacefully along with the trees. However, it wasn't easy to lift her up there, but it had a much greater effect. How you all scream, huh? Like pigs in a slaughterhouse. Lena's face was twisted by a grin of sick pleasure. Alright, let's just pitch Miku left to deal with, and then it's over. She bumped a giant lever over the blood from behind the back. Did she have it before, or she just... now she had it. Wow. Well, actually, it seemed to me that she lost her thought. I don't know what up crap with the from Juliana was. Her and the other bunny weren't killed by me, but does it really matter now? She took a torch and it flew out of the second. Wait here, I'll be quick. Her hellfish luck came from behind me. That means she went after Masha. I must do something quickly, but I have absolutely no idea which way to turn. The darkness completely destroyed me. Screw it. I ran the way I assumed Lena went. After only a short way, I painfully smashed into a wall. I turned around, trying to move slowly, but stumbled over another obstacle, fell down, and screamed in pain. Trying to rise, I realized that I couldn't put any weight on my left leg. Seemed like I twisted. And this time, I tried to crawl, but it worked out badly. The whole mine floor was covered with sharp stone, rusted rail, and broken boards. After only a short way, my arm went torn to bleeding pieces of meat, and my eyes couldn't be open because of the dust and sand. I flamed my bucket and pulled out the matchbox. I tried to light match with my shaking hand, but couldn't get them to fight. Calm down, I muttered. At last, after the fifth try, the mine was lighthoused by dim light. I quickly oriented myself and worked out which way I have to run. It seemed to me that only a few seconds passed before I found myself in the room where I left Masha. The last match went out, but I just had enough time to see Lena, raising her cleaver above Masha. I rushed toward them, screaming, and my tower for hours. My hand suddenly collapsed with something. I fell to the ground and began smashing everything around me. Most of my punches didn't hit the mark, but then my hand missed something soft. I had mount and deadly silence set in. I rolled into my back and started to and haven't right here correctly. Masha? I called. I heard quite so. Are you still alive? Yes, she whispered. Did she get you? No. I began to. Darkness soon found the torch and light. Shapely shadow danced the wall. I saw Lena body swung to the floor. She seemed to be alive. I was going to finish her. Don't! Masha crouched right over me and grabbed my legs. But we can't just... You don't need to. Of course, Lena wasn't to blame for everything, but she's the devil incarnation. There's no way we can let a human like her if she can still be called a human alive. But when I look at Masha, I realize that I can't. I just can't. I took a cleaver from the floor and twisted in my hand. I decided that it would make a perfect crowbar. Going over the door, I jumped into the wheel and pulled on that hard as I could. The door cracked and opened. Fresh air streamed into the room. We saved, I think. Returned to Masha, helped her to get up, and we left the room, leaving Lena lying unconsciously. Beyond the door, there was short curve to the ladder and end up leading to getting a clamp ball and my ring and crush climb out. I fell to the grass, exhausted, and looked around. Again, this square. Again, this camp. The bright red dawn was breaking in the east, burning the top of distant forest. The last stars winked at me, unaware of everything that had happened here in this hill. Masha rested her head on my shoulder and pointed up to the sky with trembling hand. I wish we were there in the sky. I thought we got out of dungeon. Nothing is over. Crowd of zombie Juliana was wandering through the camp, and insane Lena was lying underneath the heaven, knowing how much more devilish we will encounter her. I really want to sleep. I didn't know how to answer her because I don't know where to run, don't know where can we be safe, don't know how to return to our work. Sleep? I bet my head. Listen, this will make a great script for a film. She laughed out loud. Don't overestimate. The writer of the game again, like, embrace himself. See, I am a genius. I look at her in horror. Masha was smiling, but her smile wasn't duplicated like that one from Rena. It was pure, honest, maybe even childish. All her exhausted had gone away, and her eyes were shining with cheerful bang. What happened to you? I could hardly speak. Everything is fine. She lay down on my shoulder again. That was the last scene. Suddenly, I felt my strength leaving me. My vision darkened, my consciousness began to float away anywhere. I was lying in silence, and only the sound of Masha breath could be heard. Not the grasshoppers like all of them had died at last, but only Masha steady breathing, and her smile. Was that a movie? She said that last scene. Or maybe she was meaning. Okay. Oh, I was thinking this at the end. I struggled to open my eyes. Bright moonlight reflecting the water, cheerful skipping, light breeze blow away, and I nodded. I looked at Masha, who peacefully slept nearby, covered in my shirt. What a dream! My mobile phone dimmed slowly at that time, 3 a.m. We better go to bed, or tomorrow Olga will make us. That was a dream! I just decided to wake Masha up, but suddenly I noticed an open script and pen next to her. I quickly went through several pages and was horrified. It was completely identical to what happened to my dream. Did I read it? A bell rose in my throat and my eyes darkened. Masha rolled over, opened her eyes, and looked at me. You awake? Did you write this? I asked thick-tongued. Yes, what's wrong? I didn't know how to answer. I just couldn't understand what was going on. You were sleeping so cutely that I couldn't wake you up, and the grasshopper were creeping so loud, so I. She smiled. Wait, but we are here now. I mean, we are not a pioneer. We are filming here at this kind of stuff, are we? Yes, of course we are. Are you crazy? Maja looked at me uncomfortably. Maybe I wake up, read that she was right, and then fall asleep again. You drenched with sweat. She from and walked with a pioneer uniform lying next to her and gave me an handkerchief. A typical Russian handkerchief, embraced with a careful flower. I looked and carefully felt a surge of warmth, the same warmth you feel when someone dare you to heart giving you present. Shall we go? Masha started getting close. Yes, let's go. I barely stood up and went down to her river. Cold water revived me, and then the dream stopped seeming too real. After all, it was just a dream, wasn't it? Or on our way back, Masha held my hand and chattered about everything nonstop. We came to the square. I hope this creature will let us sleep last night. She said thoughtfully, Who? The grasshoppers. Yeah, that'd be great. Well, I'll go. She looked at me quickly, turning around and was about to leave. Wait. I grabbed her hand, pulled her toward me, and kissed her hard. Because sometimes a dream is just a dream, and really, reality is reality. The end. What is that? I don't even. Every story has a beginning and end. Every story has its own outline, subplots, content, key point, prologue, and spoiler. And there are no book, whatever you read it again, will not reveal new detail you didn't notice before. Every story has its own beginning and end. Almost every. Damn, that was Miku or Masharot. That was a very crazy road, very horrifying imagery. I didn't expect that from Miku wrote. I was expecting to be like one shot story or very short, because when I saw it in the walkthrough, it's like, yeah, it's like end in day 3 or 4, like, oh, it's not a real route, like special route or something. It sounds like a special route or something because it's different. Very much different, by the way. The story happening in it is very weird, different. It's horror. It's like it. Everyone is romance, but this, no, horror. Ah. And next episode, I mean next route, will be the final route. We almost finishing this game. I think her name is Yalia or Yulia. And her route is like have good and bad ending, but more like her ending and the harem ending. We can get her ending, which is one ending, and we can get the harem ending where we end up with every girl in the game. Oh, will be awesome. Will be very, very awesome. But this is it. Let's see the owl first before we say goodbye for Miku. Yeah, everything is okay. We have only 2. So goodbye for now. See you next time. Goodbye.